They never called it a dungeon at first. They called it an opportunity, a structure that appeared without warning, a castle made of stone older than memory. No flags, no history, no clear owner, just one entrance, and one rule. You enter by choice. You leave by consequence. At the beginning, people laughed. Online forums treated it like a game, a social experiment, a myth designed to attract attention. But curiosity is stronger than fear, and curiosity is what feeds the castle. The first explorers were not heroes. They were ordinary people, gamers, survival enthusiasts, bored professionals chasing meaning. They carried cameras. They carried confidence. They carried the illusion of control. None of them understood what control actually meant. The moment you step inside Castle Dungeon, something changes. Not around you. Inside you. The air feels heavier. Sound behaves differently. Every echo is measured. Every step recorded. Light does not simply illuminate here. It chooses what to reveal. Shadows stretch longer than logic allows. Corners seem alive. And walls remember. Fear is a companion you cannot shake. It whispers. It waits. It watches. It understands your weaknesses before you do. Some call it unfair. Others call it brilliant. The castle does not care. It is a test. A mirror. A trap. Every room is a question. Every corridor, a consequence. And every choice leaves a mark. Most people who enter do not die physically. They die inside. Their certainty. Their arrogance. Their illusions of strength and safety. The castle does not punish. It teaches. Harshly. Relentlessly. Permanently. You find a library at the first floor. Books lie open, pages worn by invisible hands. Information and misdirection coexist. Some pages reveal survival tips. Others lure you into traps of thought. The mind is the battlefield here. Doors appear and disappear. Corridors twist back on themselves. Maps drawn on paper or memory are useless. You cannot rely on logic or expectation. The castle adapts, and every adaptation is personal. Voices whisper, not human voices, not familiar, but close enough to provoke recognition, a reminder that perception is fragile. Some explorers tried to run. They ended in rooms identical to the one they left. Or worse, rooms subtly different, enough to unsettle. Psychological fatigue sets in faster than physical exhaustion. In one hall, a mirror stretched from floor to ceiling. It reflected not what was, but what could be. Fear, ambition, regret, desire, every emotion twisted. You confront yourself in ways the world outside never allowed. Time behaves unpredictably. Minutes can feel like hours. Hours like seconds. Sleep is distorted. The castle knows the limits of human endurance. A simple wrong step triggers alarms invisible to the eye. A sound you do not recognize. A vibration in the floor. A shadow that moves counter to the light. Those who attempt rational analysis often fail first. Emotional intelligence surpasses logic here. Understanding patterns, predicting reactions, reading the invisible rules, this is survival. In one wing, statues line the corridors. Stone figures frozen in acts of decision. They are warnings. Or examples. Or neither. You are never certain. The castle is a puzzle, but not one meant to be solved completely. Partial understanding is both a reward and a trap. Overconfidence here is fatal. Some groups attempt teamwork. They communicate. They plan. They divide tasks. Even these efforts often unravel. The castle encourages subtle distrust. It rewards caution and observation more than action. Supplies are scarce. Food, water, tools, they appear in unusual places. Sometimes following logic, sometimes defying it. You must adapt, improvise, predict. A misjudgment can cost a day, an hour, or sanity. Fear grows like a vine. It is tangible. It constricts. But you learn to navigate it. Step by step. Decision by decision. Not all lessons are immediate. Some manifest hours later. Or days. Memory itself becomes unreliable. You must trust perception, intuition, and resilience. Isolation is real. Even in groups, solitude is constant. Walls create distance. Shadows whisper secrets. Corners watch and judge. Some explorers never admit fear. They maintain bravado. Others succumb quickly. But all are tested. All are measured. You learn quickly. Observation is survival. Listening, noticing, questioning. Every sense matters. The first night is hardest. Darkness is alive. Sleep is fragmented. Dreams are manipulated. The line between reality and imagination blurs. A minor error can escalate. A forgotten step, a misread shadow, a hesitation, consequences multiply. The castle ensures that complacency is punished. Patterns emerge only briefly. And even then, they shift. Expect nothing constant. Cling to nothing certain. Some claim to see figures moving in the corners of their eyes. Others hear whispers that fade when acknowledged. The castle toys with perception. It tests patience and reason. Rules are learned slowly, or sometimes inferred incorrectly. Mistakes are recorded. You are graded silently. Curiosity is your ally and your enemy. It drives exploration. It drives misjudgment. It drives obsession. By the end of the first floor, exhaustion begins. Not merely physical, but mental. Each decision weighs heavily. Each corridor becomes a test of endurance. The castle is never the same for two people. Even identical steps yield different outcomes. It learns. It adapts. It personalizes danger and reward. Some explorers cling to technology. Cameras, trackers, sensors. These tools help, sometimes, but often mislead. The castle distorts perception electronically as well. A blinking light, a sound, a shadow, all can deceive. You understand finally that control is an illusion. Observation is survival. Patience is power. Mistakes are permanent. And still, something compels you forward. A promise of discovery. A whisper of mastery. A test only partially understood. Castle Dungeon is not just a place. It is an experience. A mirror of mind, fear, ambition, and instinct. And the adventure has only begun. The castle does not rest. Neither do you. As you move deeper, corridors become unpredictable. Walls shift subtly. Floors slope without warning. Ceilings breathe. Light changes angle as if observing you. Pressure builds. Not outside, inside. A weight on the mind. A tug on perception. A whisper that you are being watched. The first puzzle appears. Not carved, not written. It is silent. It demands observation. A choice without instruction. Some make the wrong decision immediately. They notice a shift. A subtle vibration beneath their feet. A shadow that wasn't there. A sound that never repeats. Mistakes are recorded. Mistakes grow consequences. You encounter a room filled with mirrors. They do not reflect reality. They reflect fear, desires, doubt, regret. Every glance feels heavier than the last. Some explorers panic. They touch the mirrors. They move rapidly. They shout. The castle responds. The walls tighten. Shadows lengthen. Others remain still. They observe. They wait. They analyze. They survive longer. The castle's lessons are brutal. It teaches patience, restraint, observation, self-awareness. Time becomes fluid. Seconds stretch unnaturally. Minutes vanish. Days may feel like minutes. Sleep, if it comes, is distorted. Dreams merge with reality. A faint sound drifts. Footsteps that do not belong to anyone. Whispers in languages unspoken. A laughter low and hollow. You begin to doubt what is real. Some try to map the castle. They draw lines. Mark doors. Trace walls. Even these maps are lies. Rooms appear and disappear. Corridors change orientation. Nothing remains static. Supplies are cunningly placed. Food in some areas. Water in others. Tools that seem useful turn dangerous. A small misjudgment can cost hours, even days. The castle rewards observation more than action. You notice patterns that are fleeting. You predict a trap, narrowly avoid it. The castle adapts anyway. Your understanding is temporary. Fear grows intimate. It whispers your secrets, your weaknesses, your guilt, your regrets. You start to question your own mind. Groups form. They think safety lies in numbers. They strategize, share knowledge, divide tasks. But the castle sows doubt. One mistake by one, subtly. Trust erodes. Tension rises. Conflict appears where none existed. Some explorers face hallucinations. The walls breathe. Figures move in peripheral vision. Voices call out names you do not know. Even the bravest question their sanity. The castle tests moral choices. You must decide. Selfish or selfless. Quick action or careful observation. Every choice has ripple effects. Consequences appear hours later. Or days. Some people break quickly. They give in to panic. They run blindly. They become lost. Or trapped. Or worse, they wander in loops that stretch perception. Others learn. They study. They adapt. They predict. They endure longer. One corridor seems endless. You walk. And walk. No doors. No markers. Only shadows and whispers. You begin to doubt time itself. The first real test comes. Not a trap, not a puzzle. An emotional challenge. A fear manifested. A memory invoked. A choice forced. And every observer can see you. The castle is merciless. It does not forgive arrogance. It does not reward impulsiveness. It respects patience, attention, and cunning. Mistakes compound. A minor hesitation can alter everything. You begin to understand the importance of microdecisions. Every choice, however small, matters. Some try to fight the castle. They kick walls, smash doors. Noise echoes. Shadows respond. The castle does not yield. It absorbs energy. It teaches. Others watch quietly. Move subtly. The castle notices patience. Reward it subtly. Yet even this reward is a trap. Complacency is punished eventually. Isolation is absolute. Even in groups, solitude is constant. Walls separate you mentally. Shadows whisper secrets to individual ears. Corners observe and judge. Sleep deprivation is a weapon. Dreams are manipulated. Your subconscious becomes an ally and enemy. You question what is real. You question who you are. The castle observes reactions. It catalogues every micro-expression, every hesitation, every sigh, every glance. Adaptation is constant. Patterns exist only briefly. Even when identified, they shift unpredictably. You learn to trust nothing permanent. Expect nothing stable. A small reward appears. A note. A tool. Water. Food. It seems straightforward. Yet you sense traps hidden beneath simplicity. Every gift has weight. The psychological pressure increases. Your mind becomes sharper in some ways, more fragile in others. Decision-making under duress becomes an art. Mistakes are lessons burned into memory. Some attempt negotiation. They speak to the castle. Out loud. Alone. Voices echo, but no one responds. Yet the castle seems to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps it listens. Perhaps it only measures. The line between observer and observed blurs. The castle is conscious in ways you cannot define. You feel studied, measured, tested. By the third night, exhaustion is immense. Sleep, food, water, sanity. Every resource is strained. Even physical endurance begins to fail. Mental endurance is the ultimate test. The castle teaches in layers. Immediate lessons. Delayed consequences. Subtle manipulations. Psychological experiments designed for maximum effect. Fear becomes a companion. Curiosity, the catalyst. Observation, the weapon. Patience, the shield. Some explorers surrender. They quit. They leave. Or attempt to. Few succeed. Those who do are changed forever. Others endure. They adapt. They survive. They become acutely aware of their own mind, of patterns, reactions, triggers. Every corner holds insight. Every shadow a lesson. Every choice, A mirror. The castle does not judge. It records. It measures. It educates. By the end of the second floor, explorers understand. Physical strength is irrelevant. Intellect alone is not enough. Emotion, intuition, and self-control are paramount. Castle Dungeon is a crucible. It exposes weaknesses. It rewards understanding. It punishes neglect. And it transforms those who navigate it successfully. The tests are only beginning. The pressure will only increase. And the lessons learned will last a lifetime. The castle is not just a place. It is an experience. A mirror of mind, fear, ambition, and instinct. By now, you feel the weight of every decision. Every step echoes in memory. Every choice lingers longer than it should. Sleep is fragmented. Dreams merge with reality. You question what is yours and what belongs to the castle. Hallways stretch endlessly. Doors appear where none existed. Walls shift subtly. Light bends around corners. Shadows move independently. Your mind plays tricks. A whisper here. A movement there. A reflection that seems human for a split second. The first real psychological collapse occurs. Not from pain. Not from hunger. From realization. You are never truly alone. Yet no one is with you. Your own mind conspires against itself. Hallucinations mix with memories. Past regrets. Future fears. Every emotion amplified. Every insecurity spotlighted. Some explorers cry silently. Others laugh uncontrollably. The bravest stand still. Observation becomes survival. A mirror stretches across the corridor. You see not yourself, but every choice you have made. Every hesitation. Every regret. Every victory. Every loss. The castle whispers. It shows. It hides. It forces reflection. It punishes arrogance. It rewards awareness. The mind bends to the rules here. Logic is questioned. Perception is fluid. Emotion becomes data. Intuition, a weapon. You encounter rooms designed to test belief. Faith in yourself. Faith in others. Faith in reality. Every assumption challenged. One corridor narrows. The walls press in. A soft vibration hums through the floor. Fear intensifies without warning. You are small, fragile, replaceable. Some explorers collapse. Not physically. Mentally. Their certainty destroyed. Their focus shattered. Their will tested. Others adapt. They move slowly. Observe. Analyze. Choose deliberately. Micro-decisions become shields. Patience becomes armor. The castle teaches through suffering. Pain is temporary. Mental strain is permanent. Lessons are embedded in memory, behavior, and instinct. Voices whisper lessons. Some clear, some cryptic. You are not ready. You are ready. You choose poorly. You choose wisely. The mind deciphers what it can. Fear becomes intimate. It lives within you. It shapes thought. It teaches self-control. It punishes impulsiveness. The castle does not intervene directly. It sets conditions. It observes reactions. It adjusts accordingly. Subtle manipulations yield profound transformations. A corridor of lights alternates rapidly. Shadows shift violently. Your heart races. Your mind is forced to focus. Every step matters. Every blink matters. The castle tests identity. Who are you when stripped of certainty? Who are you when your surroundings lie constantly? Who are you when choices are both meaningless and critical? Some explorers pretend to be brave. Others are genuinely fearless. The castle does not reward pretension. It rewards understanding, adaptation, awareness. Every trap, every puzzle, every whisper has meaning. Even apparent chaos is a lesson. Even despair teaches insight. Even mistakes are tools for growth. By the fourth night, exhaustion is overwhelming. Sleep deprivation, hunger, confusion. The mind begins to fracture. Yet clarity emerges in fleeting moments. A paradox of survival. You confront the first impossible choice. Save yourself, or help another. Act immediately, or wait. Trust instinct, or reason. Consequences are delayed, but inevitable. The castle observes. It records every hesitation, every glance, every micro-expression, every heartbeat, every misstep. Psychological resilience is tested more than physical endurance. Even the strongest body fails under mental strain. Only those who balance fear, curiosity, patience, and intuition endure. Some give in to despair. They wander endlessly. They speak to walls. They question existence. They forget why they entered. The castle accepts all outcomes. Others evolve. They refine observation. They anticipate. They endure longer. They learn subtle patterns. They manipulate perception to their advantage. A library appears. Books scattered, open, unread. Knowledge intertwined with deception. Truth and lies coexist on the same page. Observation reveals patterns. Naivety is punished. You begin to see connections. Every room, every corridor, every choice relates. Nothing random. Everything meaningful. Yet complete understanding remains elusive. Some explorers attempt leadership. They guide others. Coordinate decisions. Encourage cooperation. The castle tests group dynamics subtly. Trust is fragile. Conflict is inevitable. Mistakes in judgment echo. Errors are amplified. Patience, observation, and strategic thinking become critical. By the fifth night, the psychological strain peaks. The mind adapts or breaks. Sleep is a distant memory. Time is distorted. Reality is subjective. You realize the castle is a teacher. Fear is the curriculum. Curiosity the lesson. Patience the reward. Mistakes the imprint. Every failure is a step toward understanding. Every success a temporary reprieve. Every choice a reflection of self. The castle shapes you silently. No instructions. No guidance. No mercy. No favoritism. Some attempt rebellion. They shout, kick, resist. Walls absorb energy. Shadows respond. The castle does not relent. Every action is measured. Observation becomes instinct. Micro-actions dominate. Every thought calculated. Every hesitation scrutinized. A corridor of darkness stretches. You step carefully. Every sound exaggerated. Every shadow meaningful. Your mind sharpens. Your focus heightens. The castle continues to teach. Every experience a lesson. Every fear an opportunity. Every doubt a mirror. By the sixth night, the mind is honed. Sleep deprived but alert. Fear mastered, but present. Curiosity guided, but cautious. Every step deliberate. Every choice mindful. The castle is no longer a place. It is part of you. Its lessons etched into cognition. Its tests ingrained in behavior. Its whispers embedded in thought. Psychological endurance surpasses physical. Observation surpasses action. Patience surpasses speed. Adaptation surpasses instinct. Those who survive this phase emerge transformed. Stronger. Wiser. Hardened. Yet forever marked. Castle Dungeon is more than a dungeon. It is a crucible for the mind. A test of human cognition. A mirror of fear, ambition, curiosity, and will. And the journey continues. The lessons deepen. The tests intensify. And those who endure are no longer ordinary. By now, the castle is no longer external. It exists within you. Every lesson, every fear, every choice, embedded in thought, etched in behavior, inscribed on the mind. You understand survival is not physical. It is psychological, not measured by strength, measured by awareness, by patience, by understanding the self. The castle has tested everything: curiosity, fear, ambition, greed, empathy, selfishness, logic, instinct. Every failure is a lesson. Every success is temporary. Every decision a mirror. Every mistake permanent. You begin to see the castle's purpose. Not destruction. Not entertainment. But transformation. Shaping the mind. Challenging perception. Teaching mastery over fear and decision. The final floors are the hardest. Rooms blend into corridors. Corridors dissolve into shadows. Light becomes unpredictable. Time folds. Sleep is fragmented. Memory betrays itself. Some explorers never reach the end, not because they lack courage, but because they cannot adapt. They cling to certainty, to comfort, to expectation. The castle punishes rigidity. Others succeed. Slowly, carefully, deliberately, step by step, choice by choice, observation by observation. The castle rewards patience, observation, adaptation, understanding the self, understanding others, understanding consequences. You realize every test was subtle, every challenge carefully constructed, every room a lesson, every shadow a teacher, every corridor a reflection. The castle teaches that life itself is a dungeon, not of stone, but of decisions, not of shadows, but of fears, not of walls, but of choices. The mind is the ultimate battlefield. Fear is the opponent, curiosity the ally, observation the weapon, patience the shield. By the final corridor, clarity emerges. You see patterns where there was chaos. You predict traps that seemed impossible. You navigate shadows that once terrified. You understand the lessons without being told. Transformation is complete. You are no longer the same person who entered. Not physically, perhaps, but mentally. Not just of body, but of mind, of self, of ambition, of consequence. And as you exit, the castle whispers one last truth. The greatest dungeon exists within. The greatest challenges are invisible. The greatest lessons require observation. The greatest victories are mental. Castle dungeon is complete, not in walls or doors, but in thought, in transformation, in the mind of those who dared enter. And the story never truly ends. It continues in decisions made, in risks taken, in fear faced, in curiosity pursued, in patience practiced. Those who understand, survive. Those who adapt, thrive. Those who learn, master. The rest, remain trapped, within themselves. Castle dungeon is eternal. A teacher, a mirror, a test, a journey, a reflection.